sufficiently advanced civilization will be able to create a
Simulation?
simulation. Yeah, maybe you've answered this before. A simulation.
I've had so many simulation discussions, it's crazy.
Okay. So, because
in fact, it got to the point where basically every conversation was the AI/simulation conversation. And my brother and I finally agreed that we would ban such conversations if we were ever in a hot tub. Okay. That was like, because that really kills the magic.
We're not in a hot tub, so the idea is, right, any sufficiently advanced civilization could create a simulation that's like our existence. And so the theory follows that maybe we're in the simulation. Have you thought about this? And
a lot.
Are we?
Even in hot tubs?
To know,
so much so it had to be banned from a hot tub.
Yeah. Okay.
It's not the sexiest conversation.
Are we in?
I mean, I think here's, in my mind, like the strongest argument for us being in a simulation, probably being in a simulation, I think is the following. That 40 years ago, we had Pong, like 2 rectangles and a dot. That
right.
was what games were. Now, 40 years later, we have photorealistic 3D simulations with millions of people playing simultaneously, and it's getting better every year. Mm-hmm. And soon we'll have virtual reality, augmented reality. If you assume any rate of improvement at all, then the games will become indistinguishable from reality, just indistinguishable. Even if that rate of advancement drops by 1,000 from what it is right now, then you just say, okay, well, let's imagine it's 10,000 years in the future, which is nothing in the evolutionary scale. So given that we're clearly on a trajectory to have games that are indistinguishable from reality, and those games could be played on any set-top box or on a PC or whatever, and there would probably be, billions of such, computers or set-top boxes, it would seem to follow that the odds that we're in base reality is 1 in billions.
So
tell me what's wrong with that argument.
Is the answer yes?
The argument is probably. I mean, but I just like, is there a flaw in that argument?
I mean, someone.
I'm not sure what the error.
No. The argument makes sense. So the assumption then is that somebody beat us to it, and this is a game.
No. There's a 1 in billions chance that this is base reality.
Oh, okay. What do you think?
Well, I think it's 1 in billions.
Okay.
I mean, that seems to be like clearly what it suggests.
Right.
And actually, I mean, arguably we should hope that that's true, because otherwise, if civilization stops advancing, then that may be due to some calamitous event that erases civilization. So maybe we should be hopeful that this is a simulation, because otherwise...
Because they could reboot it.
Well, otherwise, either we're going to create simulations that are indistinguishable from reality, or civilization will cease to exist.
The universe has a lot of numbers that have meanings. The number 12 seems to be the most common. What if we're the 12th edition simulation? There's 12 inches in a foot. 12 is a dozen. There's 12 hours of day, 12 hours of night. Jesus had 12 disciples, which is actually talking about the sun in the 12 months. The most abundant element is carbon-12 that we're mostly made of, which is 666, by the way. Carbon-12 is 666. The mark of the beast is man. It actually says that in your Bible. The circumference of the earth is 24,901 miles, and we probably have that 1 mile because of the bulge. Take that away and it's divisible evenly by 12. We originally had 12 planets. The Earth's tilt, which is still up to debate as to what it is today, is 23.4 degrees. 432 hertz is the divine harmony, which resonates with and heals the body, till it was changed to 440 hertz, which does harm by causing stress, negative behaviors, and unstable emotions. But that's another topic. 4 times 3 times 2 equals 24, which is evenly divisible by 12. Halley's Comet visits around every 75 years. 7 plus 5 equals 12. The Great Age, which is 25,860 years, which is evenly divisible by 12. What if the completion of the Great Age resets everything, and we do it all again because we keep failing? We keep failing because we hate more than we love. And the predictions of the Bible was inserted into the program to warn us of what is to come if we don't get along, because it all happened before, over and over. In fact, the Bible would make more sense if we were in a simulation. It would explain the Tower of Babel.
It is weird that we spend so much time trying to figure out the universe. That's an interesting fact.
Well, we're curious.
And
Are we living in a simulation? Tell me right now, please. Tell us on the
I
record.
hate to break it to you. You want to know?
Well, I mean, what does that mean?
Okay, I'll tell you. All right. You've played video games before.
Yes.
Okay.
That's what it means.
Have you any game come to mind?
Super Mario Brothers.
Super Mario Brothers. Okay. Mario runs around, jumps.
Yeah, because we push buttons.
And he'll jump off a cliff, but then scurry and come back to the. All right. So he doesn't fall.
Yeah.
If you were in that game and you were a scientist, you would start asking yourself, well, what are the laws of physics in my world? And you'd come up with a portfolio of how things move, how things jump, how things fall. And this will be your canon of concepts that matter.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm a scientist in Super Mario Brothers, and I decode all the laws that are operating there.
You mean you get all the cheat codes?
Okay, that makes you better at it. So there you are.
Yeah, you warp tunnels that way.
There you go. So there you are, and that's your world. Why is that any different from this world, where I'm a scientist trying to figure out how this world works?
Okay, great.
So now watch.
I got your answer.
Wait. So now watch. As our computing power gets more and more, gets stronger and stronger, as storage capacity gets greater and greater, we can, in principle, program much more than Mario. We can program characters that have free will.
Yeah.
Whoa, if you can program characters that have free will and let them go, they'll invent things, they'll discover things, they'll create simulations on their computers that they had just invented, and they'll give them free will. And this can be simulations all the way down.
Right, simulation spirals.
So
I'm going to need a nap after this.
I'm
just going to let everyone know that's watching. I'm going to need one nap after this.
So what is life for you? Is it a dream? Is it
Is life a
real?
dream?
Is it a million D? What is life for Elon Musk?
I find as I get older, I find that question to be maybe more and more confusing or troubling or uncertain. I think particularly when you see the advancement of something like video games, like say 40 years ago, you had video games, the most advanced video game would be like Pong, where you had like two rectangles and a dot. You're like batting it back and forth.
I played it.
Oh yeah, me too, exactly. I played
all.
Pong. Exactly, it sort of dates you a little bit. But yeah, we both played the same game. And that was like, wow, that was a pretty fun game at the time. But now you can see a video game that's photorealistic, almost photorealistic, and millions of people playing simultaneously. And you see where things are going with virtual reality and augmented reality. And if you extrapolate that out into the future with any rate of progress at all, like even 0.1% or something like that a year, then eventually those games will be indistinguishable from reality. They'll be so realistic, you will not be able to tell the difference between that game and the reality as we know it. And then it seems like, well, how do we know that that didn't happen in the past and that we're not in one of those games ourselves?
Interesting.
I mean, could be.
Everything is possible in life.
I mean, particularly like things seem to be accelerating.